So this lesson is Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, Scene 5, and this is actually the scene where Romeo and Juliet meet and have their first kiss. So in this little video, I'll go over the scene in lots of detail, explain what's happening, what they're saying, modernise it for you, highlight a couple of things, and then at the very end of the video, after I've told you your assignments, I'll do a detailed analysis of one of the parts in it. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video. But first, the objectives. You need to analyse the scene, particularly the devices, comment on their effect on the reader, their effect on the play as a whole, what do they reveal about characters, the tone, the setting, the plot, the themes, and then draw connections to the outside world if possible. And you're also going to evaluate Romeo and Juliet's love in the form of structured paragraphs. Basically, you're going to write, look at both sides, is it real love, is it not, and come to a conclusion. So before we begin, I thought it might be nice to watch the Royal Shakespeare Company perform part of the scene. I've actually uploaded the full show on Google Classroom, as well as the Orlando Bloom live show, and obviously the Baz Luhrmann 1996 movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. But if I can get this to work, there we go. So like I say, this is just them at the party, and it is their first kiss. It's not the full scene. See if you can notice anything about the language they use.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hands too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy Palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim lips that they must use in prayer.
But then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take.
Okay, this is awkward.
My lips, by thine, my sin is.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took.
What, simple lips, a trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again.
Okay, well, that's awkward enough, so I'm going to move on from that.
Kissed by the
But
book.
as I've said, I have put the full show on Google Classroom, so you are able to watch that, and I do encourage that you do. So we start off with Act 1, Scene 5, and it's servants talking in the kitchen of the Capulet house. This part of the scene isn't particularly important, but I will modernise it very quickly for you. So the first servant comes in, he says, "Where's pot pan that he helps not to take away? He shift the trencher, he scrape the trencher." So he's saying, where's pot pan? There's a little joke there. Obviously his name is Pot Pan, and his job is to basically clean the pots and pans. So where's Pot Pan? Why isn't he cleaning the tables? Clearing the tables, sorry. Why isn't he clearing the tables? He should be tidying dishes and cleaning dishes. And the second servant comes in, he says, "When good manners shall lie all in one or two men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing." So he's saying when there are only one or two good-mannered people left, and they're dirty as well, it's a terrible thing. The first servant says again, "Away with the joint stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate." So put the stools away, remove the plates. And he says, "Good thou, save me a piece of marchpane." So this is marzipan. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it's like a sweet almond kind of cakey paste sort of thing. So save me a piece of marzipan. "And as thou lovest me, let the porter let Susan Grindstone and Nell." So basically, let in Susan Grindstone and Nell. Anthony and Pot Pan. Again, there's a couple of jokes on the names here. Pot Pan, grindstones. You work to the grindstone. It's what you sharpen knives with. So all these people work in the kitchen. Little joke there. The third servant enters with another servant. "I boy, ready. You are looked for and called for and asked for and sought for in the great chamber." We cannot be here and there too. Cheerly, boys. So I can't be everywhere. I'm doing the best I can. Be brisk a while. Be happy. Be happy while you can. Whoever lives the longest takes everything. Again, this part of the scene's not mega important. We then get Lord and Lady Capulet, Cousin Capulet, Nurse, Juliet, Tybalt enter, and this is the beginning of the party. So Capulet comes in. Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. So what he's saying here is, welcome men, ladies that have toes which are healthy, so unplagued with corns. Corns are like them little horrible janky things you get on your feet, like hard skin. So ladies and gentlemen, that ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns, ladies that have healthy feet, will walk about, will have a dance with you. He says, aha, my mistress, which of you all will now deny the dance? So he says, my women, who will say no to a dance? She that makes dainty, she elsewhere have corns. So any woman who denies the dance for me must have corns on her feet. Am I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen, I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen, come musicians play. So what he's saying here is, I have seen the day, so when I was younger, that I have worn a visor and could tell. I could wear a mask, a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, that I could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear. So when I was younger, I would put on the mask at the masquerade ball, and I would whisper sweet nothing, so I would flirt in ladies' ear, such as would please. So she'd really like this. These days have gone. I'm old now. I'm not going to be doing it, and therefore you are welcome, gentlemen, because I'm not going to be doing it. So the music plays, and now they're having this party, and I want you to imagine the scene. Everyone's dancing. It says a hall, give room, and footed girls. So like, everyone come and dance, make room, make space, and they do this dance. So I'll upload another video as well, so you can see what kind of dancing they would have done. And there'd be a big banquet room, and in the middle there'd be this area where the men and the women would dance with one another whilst wearing their masquerade masks. So they dance here, and the stage directions, like always, are quite vague, which gives the actors a lot of freedom to do what they want. More light, you knaves, you idiots. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room has grown too hot. So he's just giving orders now. The way he speaks, I get the impression that he's quite drunk and he's having a good time. He's shouting, he's calling the servants idiots, he's barking orders at them, and he gives me the impression of a man who's drunk and he's just controlling the party to have a good time and make sure everyone else is having a good time. Then Romeo, Mercutio, and Benvolio enter in masks. And where are we in my book? They say Sirrah. So Sirrah means sire, we would say to a person above us. Servant, we would say to someone. Sirrah, sorry, would be servant. We'd say to someone below us. This unlocked for sport comes well. So this unexpected fun is great. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet. So he's speaking to his cousin. This is Lord Capulet speaking still. For you and I are past our dancing days. How long is now since you lost yourself and I were in a mask? By lady, 30 years. What man, 'tis not so much, 'tis not so much. He says, how long has it been since me and you were dancing at a masquerade ball? 30 years. What? No way, it's not 30 years, it's not that long. 'Tis since the nuptial of Lucentio. So 'tis the wedding of Lucentio. Come Pentecost as quickly as it will. So Pentecost is about 50 days after Easter Sunday. So it's just like time's going really, really quickly. Some 5 and 20 years, and then we must. So it's only 25 years ago that we were at a masquerade ball ourselves. We're not that old. Time's going so quickly, but it's not 30 years. Cousin says, 'tis more, 'tis more. His son is elder sir. His son is 30. Will you tell me that? His son was but a ward 2 years ago. So it's like, really? He was only a kid a couple of years ago. What are you saying? And then Romeo, he sees Juliet and he says to his servant. So I want you to imagine, really think about the language that was used by Romeo in Act 1, Scene 1 to talk about Rosaline, and then start paying attention to the language he uses now. So Romeo says, "What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?" So which lady is that over there that's holding that knight's hand? They're probably dancing right now, and she's holding the hand of a gentleman, of an upper class gentleman. So who's that lady? "I know not, sir." "Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night." So what he's saying here is, like, she shines so brightly, she's teaching lights to do it. And then it says, she stands out against the night. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night. So she stands out within the night. So therefore she's a beauty, she's radiant, she lights up everything. "Like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear," like a rich jewel in an Ethiopian's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So she's too beautiful for love, too amazing for the earth. Where are we? So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows. So she's a white dove amongst black crows. And again, I'm having flashbacks now to Act 1, Scene 1, where Benvolio says, now I want you also to think Rosaline is at this party. And Benvolio says, "I come to this party and I'll make you think that Rosaline is a crow compared to other women." And this is exactly what's happened now. Romeo is saying, Juliet is a snowy dove in the middle of these crows. So Benvolio was right. "As yonder lady of her follows shows." So she stands out amongst the others again. "The measure done," so the dance is done, "I'll watch her place of stand." I'll see where she goes and stands. "And touching hers make bless my rude hand." So I'm going to touch her hand and it's going to be a blessing. So again, think back to Act 1, Scene 1. How does he speak about Rosaline? I mean, he's not happy because she won't have sex with him. He's very sexual, rude, bawdy. He objectifies Rosaline. He's just upset because she won't sleep with him. And now he's talking about Juliet, and he just wants to hold her hand. "Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight? For me, I never saw true beauty till this night." So he said, like, I've never loved before. I've finally fallen in love after seeing this woman. So again, you know, Romeo's tragic flaw, his hamartia, is that he falls in love too quickly. So Tybalt comes in. He says, "This by his voice should be a Montague." He sees Romeo and he's fuming. "This by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch my rapier, boy." Says, "Get my swords." "What, dares the slave come hither, covered in the antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin." So he's saying, he comes here wearing a mask to mock our celebration. So he's coming to mock our celebration. Now, by the stock and honour of my kin, so by the honour of our family name, this clan love, I'll kill him now, and I won't regret it. I won't hold it a sin. And Lord Capulet says to him, "Why, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so? So what's up, Tybalt, my kinsman, my cousin? Why are you so angry?" "Uncle, this Montague our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn our solemnity this night." So like, uncle, our enemy's come here, a Montague, he's come here to mock our celebration. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. He's come to laugh at us and mock us, to laugh at our party. Capulet says, "Young Romeo, is it? 'Tis he, that villain Romeo." And Capulet's quite chill now. He says, "Content thee, gentle cuz, let him alone." So chill out, cousin. Leave him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman. So like, look, he's quite a gentlemanly person. He behaves really well. I know we've got this problem with the Montagues, but you know, look at him. He's a nice fella. Leave him alone. And to say truth, Verona brags of him. So people of Verona love him to be virtuous and well-governed youth. So he's a really nice young man. "I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house to do him disparagement." So I'm not going to do anything in my house I will respect him whilst he's here. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns and ill-beseeming semblance of the feast. So again, he's just saying, like, look, leave him alone. I'm telling you that is an order. Be nice, drop this, leave him alone. Tybalt says, it fits when such a villain is a guest, I'll not endure him. So I'm not going to put up with this. When such a criminal is our guest, when such a villain as Romeo comes here when he's not invited, I'm not going to tolerate this. Capulet says, he shall be endured. What good man, boy, I say he shall go too. Am I the master here or you? Go too. You'll not endure him? God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set cock a hoop. You'll be the man. So what he's saying here is, like, you will put up with him, you, like, annoying little kid. I'm the master here, not you. You will do what I tell you. Oh, save my soul. Save my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You're going to start a fight among my guests. You'll cause chaos. That will be you. Are you going to be the man to do this? Really? Calm down. That's what he's saying there. Why, uncle, 'tis a shame. Go to. I've had enough. Done. You are a saucy boy. I quite like this. You're disrespectful, but you are a saucy boy. He doesn't mean that in like, ooh, saucy boy. He's saying you're a disrespectful boy. Is it so indeed? This trick may chance to scathe you, I know what. So this will come back to haunt you. If you want to contradict me, you must contrary me. He's like, shut up, sit down, or you're going to be punished. And then he turns around and says, married his time to the dancing guests. Well said, my heart, so well done, my dears. Then turns back to Tybalt. You are a prince cox, go, you're a cocky boy, go away, be quiet, or, then he turns to his servants. More light, to Tybalt, for shame, I'll make you quiet. Then to the guests, what cheerly my heart, wonderful, my dears. So he's really trying to control this party now. He's got so many things on his plate. He's talking to the guests, he's talking to Tybalt, he's talking to the servants, and it's quite chaotic. He kind of represents the chaos that's ensuing at this party, and he somewhat symbolises that now. I think of him in this scene kind of balancing plates and trying to fix everything at once. And then Tybalt asides his patience, perforce with willful choler meeting. So he says, where am I here? So he says, being patient while so angry makes me shake, makes my flesh tremble in a different greetings. So I'm trying to be patient, but I'm so angry, I'm actually shaking. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall. So I'll back off, but this intrusion, now seeming sweet, convert the bitterest gall. So it's going to end badly. I'm not going to do anything now, but I'm not going to forget it, and something bad is going to come of Romeo. So then we go to Romeo. You know, this is the important bit now. So Romeo's sort of snuck off, everyone's dancing, and in the middle of all of it, Romeo's gone up to Juliet and he's grabbed her by the hand. And he says, if I profane with my unworthiest hand, this holy shrine, this gentle sin is this. My lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand, to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. Juliet says, good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. Have not saint lips and holy palmers too? I pilgrim lips that they must use in prayer. O then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. And then he kisses her. So I don't know if you've noticed already, it does say, but this is actually a Shakespearean sonnet. We've got 14 lines. We've got an A, B, C, D, E, F, and then the couplet at the end. Each line is iambic, 10 syllables. So this is actually a Shakespearean sonnet here, completed by the two people. And if you wait to the end of the video, I will analyse this in full, but very quickly, just to tell you what's being said. He says, if I profane with my unworthiest hand, so I show disrespect to a sacred thing, This holy shrine, this gentle sin is this. By putting my unholy hand in your holy hand, the punishment is this. So that's what he's saying there. My lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand. So my lips are like two men on a religious journey, and they're ready for you to kiss them. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers from Act 1, Scene 1, Romeo's name in Italian actually means a pilgrim going to road. A pilgrim going to road on a pilgrim going to Rome on a religious journey. So there's the reference here, Romeo's name being pilgrim, and he refers to his lips as a pilgrim. And then Juliet says, good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. So you're beating too badly of your hand. Don't just criticise your hand too much. What you do is fine. I'm happy with it. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch. So saints, she means the statues of saints, because this Catholicism, they'll have statues of saints, and the pilgrims, the religious travellers, will go and touch these statues' hands. And palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. So they're holding hands, that's basically the hands kissing. And he says, have not saint lips and holy palmers too. So do not the saints have lips, and the pilgrims, so palmers are pilgrims, they would have gone and put in the days in religious texts, they would have gone and they would have put palms on the floor for Jesus to walk on. So have not saints lips and holy palmers too. She's saying, like, yeah, if our hands touch and these people touch hands, well, we've got lips as well. Those people have got lips, we've got lips. Perhaps they could touch. She says, I, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. So, yeah, they've got lips, but they use them for prayer. Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. So let's let our lips do what our hands do. They pray, grant thou lest faith turn to despair. So he's saying here, where am I? So they pray, kiss me or I'll be sad. That's what he's saying. Grant thou lest faith turn to despair. So if you don't give me a kiss, my faith is going to make me sad. So this is kind of similar to Act 1, Scene 1 as well, I think. But yeah, we move on. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. So they only move when they're granting prayers. Otherwise, these statues of saints do not move. And he says, then move not while my prayers effect I take. So don't move then, whilst my prayers, which are to kiss you, the effect I take. So my prayers coming true by kissing you, don't move in order so I can do it. And he kisses her. And that's the sonnet. That's what it means, and I'll explain that at the end. So then Romeo says, thus from my lips by thine my sin is purged. So I kissed you, and my sin from my lips has been washed away. Juliet says, then have my lips the sin that they have took. So by kissing you, have my lips now got your sin on them? Says, sin from my lips, I trust my sweetly urge. Give me my sin again. So it's like, oh, sorry, let me kiss you again, and I'll take my sin back. She says, you kiss by the book. You kiss properly, you're really good at kissing. And then the nurse comes in. Madam, your mother craves a word with you. Now, remember, Paris is at this party. And the mum wants Paris, the mum and the dad want Paris and Juliet to meet. The mum in particular thinks that it would be a good marriage because she would get a lot from it. Paris is a catch in her eyes. He's got lots of money, he's got power, and so she wants Juliet to speak with Paris. So Juliet goes, and this is really clear in the 1996 film version. So again, I really encourage you to watch that. And Romeo says to the nurse, what is her mother, or who is her mother? Marry, bachelor, calm down, young sir. Her mother is the lady of the house. So her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous one. So she's nice, she's smart, she's honest. I nursed her daughter that you talked with. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chink, shall have the money. So anyone that can win her, that can lay hold of her, that can get her heart, will have lots of money, because her mum is the owner of the house, lady of the house, and obviously they've got money, they're rich. So Romeo says, is she a Capulet? Oh dear account, my life is my foe's debt. So this is going to be expensive. What a costly thing. My life is in my foe's hands now. And then Benvolio comes in and says, away, be gone. The sport is at its best, and the party has peaked. Let's just leave. We've missed. We've already been the good bit. We've already stayed for the good bit. The party's starting to die down now. And Romeo says, so I fear the more is my unrest. So Romeo's like, I'm in a mess. I think you're right. We should leave. So I'll just finish the end of the scene. Capulet says, nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet afterwards. So don't leave. We've got dessert coming. Is it even so? Why then I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on, then let's to bed. Ah, Sirrah, by my fate, it waxes late. So wanes and waxes talks about the moon. So it's getting late. Everyone go to bed. I'll to my rest. So the party's ended and he leaves. Juliet walks away with the nurse. She says, come hither, nurse, come here. What is that? What is yond gentleman? So who's that man over there? And she's pointing. The son and heir of old Tiberio. They're not talking about Romeo. What's he that is now going out of the door? Marry, I think that is young Petruchio. What's he that follows there, that would not dance? I know not. Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed. So basically, she's pointing at Romeo now. The nurse says she doesn't know who it is. Go ask his name. And if he's married, then I will die single, because that is the love of my life. And if I can't have him, I'll die single. The nurse comes back and says, his name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy. And Juliet says, my only love sprung from my only hate. So there's kind of this parallel here, so this brawling lover, loving hate, and from Romeo in Act 1, Scene 1, and then Juliet, my only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown, and known too late. So I found out too late, and now I didn't know he was a Montague, and I've fallen in love with him, and now it's too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love a loathed enemy. So love's a monster to me, and now I love this loathed enemy. So I love my family's enemy. What's this? A rhyme I learn even now, of one I dance withal. So the nurse is like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? She says, this poem I speak now, obviously it's a poem, we've got rhyming couplets, is about the person I dance with, from someone I dance with. And she's speaking poetically because she's fallen in love. So Lady Capulet says, Juliet, off stage. And the nurse is like, in a minute, come on, let's away. The strangers are all gone, and they go to see her mum, and the scene is done. They exit Hellas. So your assignments. The first assignment, you need to write a response, 2 paragraphs, detailing arguments for and against the idea that Romeo and Juliet is real. So basically, in 1 paragraph, you'll be like, their love is true, their love is real because of X, Y, and Z. And in the other paragraph, you'll be like, but on the other hand, basically, some people would argue that it's not real. They're naive, it's lust, it's childish, whatever you think, get evidence, again, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so paragraph 4 and a paragraph against. Remember, when you're doing your paragraphs, the colour coding system, please. There's videos on YouTube for that as well. And there's the writing workshop to help you with that. Then assignment 2, same as every chapter, just pick 4 devices from the scene and analyse them level 1, 2, 3. Again, just like we have been doing. So, just to analyse the scene now. So again, like I said, this is a Shakespearean sonnet, 14 lines, iambic pentameter, and what's interesting is they both complete the sonnet. So the first thing I've written is, it's only a sonnet together. It's incomplete by themselves. We know from the prologue that Romeo is going to fall in love with Juliet, and he uses sort of similar words to Rosaline, but there is some contrast. In Act 1, Scene 1, Romeo is just obsessed with sex. He's upset that Rosaline is living in chaste. She's a virgin, she's celibate, and she won't give up her body even for nice words, for gold. She won't open her lap to gold. to say seducing gold. And this is different to this scene. Romeo isn't after Juliet for sex. He does genuinely seem to just want to hold her hand or just to kiss her, and that's enough for him. So it's not as bawdy, it's not as sexual, it's not as shallow as in Act 1 Scene 1, I would say. Also, I think as well, there's loads and loads of religious language in this. So I profane. So to profane something is this is a religious word. To defile, so you could profane a statue, so it's to damage something religious, to break or ruin or taint or defile something religious and holy. So it says, I profane with my unworthiest hand. So he's saying her hand is holy and his hand is not holy. This is this holy shrine, again, lots religious, gentle sin, religious, two blushing pilgrims, religious. So I think that's very different as well in Act 1, Scene 1. Romeo doesn't use a lot of religious language, and he does with Juliet, so possibly that's showing his love for her is pure, unlike with Rosaline. He also says at the beginning of the scene that he loved for the first time. He says Juliet is a dove amongst the crows. And he basically says he's fallen in love again for the first time. So perhaps he's being genuine and he's being honest in this scene. I think as well, what I find really interesting, so again, as I mentioned, they are making the sonnet together. So I think that's really beautiful in a way that they're essentially completing each other. The sonnet isn't a sonnet individually. It only completes when they put the two together. And I think that's an argument that they do love each other, that they complete the sonnet. But to counter that, what I find really interesting, if we look at the rhyme scheme, it's A, hand, B, this, A, stand, B, kiss. This and kiss. C, much. Is this D or is this B? This and this. Again, D, C, touch, and then kiss, B. So what we've got here I find really interesting is Juliet is actually, she's not able to come up with her own new rhyme scheme. She's borrowing from Romeo's in the sonnet. Now it's still a sonnet, it is definitely still a sonnet and it still follows the correct rhyme scheme, but she's taking the B and the B and we're doing B and B again, and she's even taking the same words. So perhaps this is showing that she can't make her own, she's really naive, she's really young, it might characterize her as really young, and perhaps Romeo influences her. She's not old enough herself to make these decisions. I find that quite interesting. So that's another argument you could make in one of your paragraphs. Again, if you have any questions, please contact me, but that's it for the scene. Thank you.